In the name of Allah, who is kind, beneficent, magnificent and all-encompassing. I am Ms. Zubia Iqbal and I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic short story writing. And the objectives are create and follow a plan, generate ideas, organize information, use prior knowledge, experiment with language and use of forms, share and compare responses, share ideas and information. What is a story? A story is basically a narrating of real or imaginary events involving real or imaginary people. A story needs to be represented in words necessarily. Even images or moving pictures can create or narrate a story. A story is generally designed to entertain or send a message across. The length of a story will depend on the format, whether it is a novel, novella or short story. So the length of a story has no bearing to its quality. Definition of a short story. It tells about a single event or experience, fictional, not true, 500 to 1500 words in length. It has a beginning, middle and end. So the beginning or the introduction of a story is of essential importance. This is the part where you can hook the reader and capture their attention. You must have come across some often used beginnings to stories like Once Upon a Time or A Long Time Ago. However, you can get more creative and begin your story with intro. So, a short story creates an impression on the reader. Elements of a short story: setting, characterization, plot, conflict, climax, resolution, theme, point of view. Setting. Setting tells the reader where and when the story takes place. Characterization. Creation of imaginary people who appear to be the real to the reader. The writer gives information about the characters in the story. So, story will depend heavily on how well you write your characters. To develop your characters, you can use dialogues as well, but you want to keep the dialogues limited in the shorter format. Also, do not include unnecessary secondary characters, and every character of the story must have a purpose. Plot, a series of events through which the writer reveals what is happening to whom and why. So, where the actual narration of the story will happen, the events that occur or the description of the situation will be written in the plot. So, a plot must always have a conflict, which is the focus of any story. Conflict is a problem in the story that needs to be resolved. And this is where the story will come to its logical conclusion. If there is a plot twist, there is where you will include it. Always end your story in an interesting manner. Also, it is not necessary to give your story a definite ending. Climax. When the action comes to its highest point of conflict. Resolution. The story's action after the climax until the end of the story, the conclusion of the story. Theme. The story's main idea, the message the writer intends to communicate by telling the story. Point of view. The position of the narrator of the story and what the writer sees from that vantage point. Short story. Great writers are able to use the elements of the short story with such precision that the reader is caught up in the action of the story. This is the mark of a good story and our goal as a writer. Thank you so much.